These windows on the front are a very special feature of the house. You can see that they are steel casements. They've got leaded glass and stained glass detail. Tommy, now that you've got the window out, just how bad is it?
Well, it's actually pretty bad. Frank, let's make those pieces 70 inches. You can see here the structure. I replaced that because there was a lot of rot there. I pulled out a lot of the sheeting that went behind the wall and replaced that.
Oh, it's like a little surgical operation there.
Right. And let me show you what I have. You see this piece of molding right here?
Yeah.
All right, this is the detail that goes around the outside perimeter of the window, and this little piece right here is the piece that you screw the frame of the window in, so it holds it into position. Now, when they made it, they actually made it out of one piece, 1.5 inches thick by 2.5 inches wide.
That's actually a nice detail right there.
It is a nice detail, but unfortunately, you can't buy this anymore.
And obviously, we couldn't save it because you got a lot of this cut out right here.
Well, a lot of it was rotted.
Yep, so we got to make a new one?
I'm going to make it, and I'm going to put it in 2 pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do is put this nailing piece in, or the screwing flange in, and then I'm going to take a stock molding, and I'm going to modify it just a little bit.
So is that going to match? Because are you just doing it to this window or all of them?
Well, I'm going to make new molding for all of it, so even if it's not exact, it'll look the same.
Oh, I gotcha. All right, and I see Frank behind you, ready to throw in, so you're in good hands.
I'm in good hands.
All right, thank you.
Got it, thanks. All right, now Frank, since you're going to do the other windows, you want to make sure you start in the middle. We have a center line right here off of this finished opening. You want to take the bottom piece and keep it up 1.1 inches above the framing and make sure that it's level. Then you're going to take one of the sides, slide it in, make sure it goes against the bottom piece tight, and make this plumb. By making it plumb and level, the opening will be square.
Okay.
Pull it tight against the bottom piece and put one screw right in. All right, so now we'll take our top piece that is the same length as the bottom piece and slide that in. When we slide that in, the window opening will be parallel and plumb. Now all we need to do is screw off this side, and our rough opening is ready for the window.
Okay.
Tommy and Frank have got the window jamb all fixed, but our glass is still in tough shape. And so that's why we've got our stained glass artist, Ann Baxter, here to help out. Ann, nice to see you.
Hey, Kevin, nice to see you.
So what do you think of our window? What's the diagnosis?
I think the windows are lovely. I think they just need some maintenance, and I think we can bring them back to what they looked like originally.
Really?
I think the bigger damage has been on the framework itself. And
so there's a couple pieces here you're saying, is that
there are.
We've got the glass inside, but then the metal frame out here?
Yes. The steel frame on the outside is what it actually secures the glass in the opening of the house itself. The steel frame shows a lot of rust damage, especially down the bottom. Water has obviously pooled here for a long time. But they're 2 different and 2 distinct repairs.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're not afraid of that. In terms of leaded glass, what's your process for cleaning this up?
First, I'm chiseling out all the putty that was holding it in the steel frame. Once I get it out of there, I can put this panel on my bench. There we go.
Got it. Just lay it down here?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so Kevin, let's look at the transom first.
Love that.
It's beautiful, and it's in really sturdy condition. Looking at the back of it, you can see that there has been some repairs, probably. It needs to have some of this old putty removed, cleaned up, reputtied, but and basically it's though it's solid like a rock.
Love
so
to
I
hear
think
it.
we're good with this one.
Okay.
Let's move this behind and let's look at the other piece.
So we'll get this guy centered on your board here. Is this by any chance in as good of a shape?
This one is not in as good a shape. We obviously have a cracked piece in this diamond piece right here.
Yeah.
We can look around here and see that there's a lot of putty in here and that this is an undercut piece of glass.
Undercut meaning too small for the opening?
It's too small. I could see the edge of the glass. It's not totally engaged in the lead at all. So somebody has done this as a quick fix. On site, they put the undercut piece in and filled up the track with putty. What that does is once that putty hardens and dries and falls out, the glass is loose. It also means that everything standing above it will tendency over time to fall down because there's nothing right below it that's filling it in. It's not keeping it in plane.
So what is the process for fixing these 2 problems?
I should be able to pull the lead open, remove all that old putty, remove the old pieces, put new glass in correctly. There's part of it, the other part of it. Okay, so Kevin, I brought with me some different thicknesses of glass.
Okay. Never know what you're going to need.
Exactly. And for the most part, when you've got a window that has a certain thickness, you can't replace it with a different thickness.
Right.
The weight of the window is going to be off, and so the whole window is not going to be balanced. So we want to get the same thickness that was originally in the rest of the panel in this one. So the piece that came out, Kevin, is very thin, and it looks like it's fairly contemporary. This is probably a replacement at some point. But it looks at the thickness of the single-strength glass.
The thinnest you have, because
Yes.
they seem to get thicker as you go out,
Yes.
right up to something that's really thick.
This is really thick. A lot of times this is what's used in the fenestra windows because they didn't have storms on them. So usually the thinner glass is the one that we would go with.
We're going to cut one of those.
Yes.
Look at that. Perfectly straight.
There we go.
That's a nice fit.
Okay, so now I'm going to rebend the lead back.
The lead is still soft after all these years.
It should stay soft. The whole point is that that lead protects the glass because it is malleable. So before I can resolder them, I do need to grind them down a little bit to get the oxidation off.
So similar to what a plumber uses, flux and solder.
Exactly.
Just touch it to that solder and it melts. What's the story with that putty? Is that your own mix?
It is, Kevin. I make my own putty.
What's the recipe, if you don't mind?
No, I don't mind at all. It's a mix of boiled linseed oil, mineral spirits, calcium carbonate, which is chalk or whiting. It's common in the paint industry. And I add lamp black paint tint to take it down to this dark gray so that you don't see a bright white stripe.
When you get the color match spot on.
Oh, thank you. I do like that better than that bright white stripe. Okay, so what we did with this little piece, Kevin, that was broken, we're going to do the same thing with the undercut pieces. And that way all the old putty is out, new putty is in,
All
and
right.
the whole piece gets
Well,
cleaned
Ann, you are an artist. I can't tell you how glad we are that we're going to save these windows. That you're going to save these windows for us.
up. Well, thank
We'd
you,
love
Kevin.
to see them going back in.
I'm happy to be part of saving windows.
All right, thank you.
you very much.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button. Make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.